Hi, I'm Will Graham. I'm the product manager for XSignals, which is the data arm of Expansive. Expansive is the market infrastructure for environmental commodities. Today, I'm going to take you through the XSignals platform. This is where we aggregate all the bids, offers, and trades from the CBL markets platform. This includes price and volume data, as well as project information. Is a unique data set because of its breadth and also specificity. Here is the login to the XSignals platform. You can access it by going to dashboard.xsignals.expansive.com. Enter your username and password. If you forget your password, you can always click this link to reset it. If you click in the bottom left-hand corner, My Profile, you can access your settings where you can toggle your time zone. You can also log out from here. Importantly, you can access our documentation in the bottom left-hand corner of the settings page. This is especially important if you are setting up the XSignals API. However, we do also include a data dictionary to understand the different data types and what everything means within the data set. Back to the platform, one of the main features of the XSignals platform is our data lake. Within the data lake are a series of groups, and you can think of each group as a folder that you would have on your computer. Each folder contains a specific type of market data. One of the ones that gets the most attention on XSignals is the CBL Trades Voluntary Carbon. You can access this group with an API, and you can pull either a daily file, trades voluntary carbon.csv. This contains all the trades from a single day, or you can pull the full history, and that's 2019 to the current day, every single voluntary carbon trade. I'm opening this file now as a CSV. It's important to note that if you are setting up an API, you can also pull these trades out of time series. It gives you a little bit more flexibility in which columns you pull. However, it may be more convenient to pull individual files. So looking at this data, we aggregate data from both the voluntary market as well as the standardized instrument market, which features the widely recognized global benchmark products, the GEO, the NGO, and the CGO. This data set is a time series which contains obviously price and quantity. Crucially, one of the main unlocks of the value of this data set is in column N here within Excel, and that is the project ID. The inclusion of this project ID allows you to find that unique project and reference that project within the registry to see which attributes are driving value within the market. Another crucial column is the vintage. Generally, we see a huge preference for more recent vintages in the data set. So this is an important indicator of value as well. Generally, from a product standpoint, one of our main goals is to incorporate complementary data sets. So we're super excited to include information from ratings agencies. We have partnered with both B0 and Silvera, who are leaders in the rating space. When there is a record corresponding to a rated product and vintage from both B0 and Silvera, we will include that rating with it. XSignals also includes all order data. Generally, there are about 250 to 350 active orders each day. The order data can be extremely useful for pricing because although there are hundreds of orders each day, there may only be a handful of trades. This file, Orders Active Voluntary Carbon, contains every order that is active on that day. You can see that we have dozens of SIP orders. And if we scroll down, we can see these voluntary specific orders, some of which have transacted, some of which have existed within the market for multiple days. If you're an Excel user, this data, Orders Active Voluntary Carbon, can be quite dense and a little cumbersome to download each day. So we create this historical orders voluntary carbon file, which contains every order at time of entry. The difference between this and the active orders voluntary carbon file is that an order may exist for multiple consecutive days, and in that you will be able to see that order's life within the active orders. However, within this file, you will only see it at the time of entry. So you lose a little bit of the detail in the data, but it does make it a lot easier to work with within Excel. And personally, when I am doing analysis on the data, I stick to this one unless there's a very specific case that requires seeing the order's entire lifespan. If you're a subscriber of S&P Global Commodity Insights, you can access the SIP products assessed by CI here. Each file contains the previous day's assessed prices. You can also access our Insights page by clicking the light bulb under Discover. This is the same data that you have access to within the data lake. However, we are adding a layer of visualizations on top of it. So you have basic charting of the geo, NGO, and CGO through time. You also can see the last transaction and the change associated with each of those contracts at the top here. You can expand these charts. You can click and drag to zoom in on a certain time period, and then you can X to exit. We are also charting the volume and notional value by month, and you can also see analysis on the vintage trading by volume. Here we're highlighting our partnership with the ratings agency Silvera. We have every project ID that Silvera has rated, whether it is eligible to be delivered into the NGO, the last trade price on CBL outside of the NGO, the date associated with that trade, as well as information coming from Vera on the project type, country, estimated annual emissions reductions, and the methodology. Here, we are looking at the seasonality of when the voluntary carbon market volumes are moving. So, for example, in 2019, only 1% of the volume traded in January. However, in that same year, 25% of the volume traded in December. If you look at 2021, this becomes much more standardized. At the bottom, we are looking at trade prices and volatility for our SIP contracts on the left, and then on the right, we have value at risk. Also within the Insights page, we are overlaying the voluntary data onto a map. So you can see volume weighted average price by country and quarter. You're able to click into a country and see it through time, as well as select nature-based or tech-based. Thank you for watching. I hope this was informative. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to XSignals@expansive.com.